You mentioned Josh Stevenson and just kind of the progress he's made. What have you seen from him the last few weeks?
Yeah, he's a good athlete, and there's kind of a saying sometimes good athletes kind of always figure it out at some point. He's a hard-working kid, he's a hard-nosed kid. It's a good combination, just needs some experience. I think COVID, I think, slowed a lot of guys' progress down, and this is already a big jump from high school to this level, and it's just kind of been about reps, getting at bats, learning what types of at bats that we need to move the offense and within his skill set. And I think he's doing that. Big time walk last night that set up the big inning. Sac fly was great. And those are the kind of things that if we get those along with, hitting the ball with some authority that some of the other guys do, then I've mentioned this before, we can be really hard to stop. And so it's great to see out of him, and he's doing a great job.
Coach, last night your guys retired 8 out of 9 leadoff men. How big is that?
Biggest part of the game yesterday. Going in and itemizing what we needed to do to be successful against that team. You can't beat them if you let the leadoff guy get on base. And so I was really pleased with the pitchers. We handled the ball for the most part in the infield. A couple of they weren't bunts, but swinging bunts. Took the bunt away from them. They didn't attempt one all night, and that changed how they wanted to play offense. So I thought we had good game control, and that was the biggest part of it, was getting the leadoff guy out.
You face a Missouri team that plays a lot like you will, like the manufacturer runs, play a little small ball, like to steal bases. Kind of what is going to be y'all's biggest task?
I think kind of some of the same. Make them earn everything that they get, and that's really no different no matter who you're playing. But when you have teams with good speed and good athleticism and a very aggressive nature in their style of play, the best way to stop it is to not let them create it from the start. And so I think it'll be important to strikes, eliminate the free bases, win the free base war. It was great last night. It was really tipped in our favor in terms of how many we had versus how many they had, and ultimately it was the difference in the game. We just had more opportunities to score, and then really good professional at bats to convert on those. And so, yeah, I really like last night's game, and I hope it's something we can continue to pattern.
The opportunity just to have Gavin back there just for a pinch hit or two, just what did that mean?
I think it was good. I mean, I kind of need to see where he's at, you know what I mean, and what he can and can't do and handle. So it was good that opportunity arose last night. I know he wants to be out there, and it's good to have options of things we can do. And it's kind of a rough year for him with bad luck. I mean, had some stomach deal against Texas A&M. I mean, he hasn't played in more SEC games than he's played in. So hopefully we'll see how it goes today. I mean, he was pretty sore. We challenged him on Monday to see where he was at game-wise, and we'll kind of need to do the same thing today to see how he came off of swinging the bat a couple times last night.
This is the point in the week where the past 2 weeks you've been traveling. So how are you capitalizing on being at home, and what has really helped this week?
Yeah, I think you can get more done with players within their routine and work on things. I mean, we practiced at 1 yesterday with everybody. We'll do the same thing tomorrow, and you can kind of itemize the things that individual players need to do or the team needs to do to take care of to put ourselves in a good chance to be successful. Thought we did a really good job of that last night. I mean, that started with Ty and a really good performance and handled the things well, getting the leadoff guy out, handling the ball in front of the dirt really well. Two-strike hitting thing was great last night. We didn't strike out till the 7th, and we struck them out 13 times. So there was a lot of positives in that. Obviously, you ramp up in competition again this weekend, but the things that you need to do, just if we can commit to them and stay on task on them, then we can play good baseball, and that will usually mean us winning, especially at home.
In kind of your experience, is a guy having maybe an extra week or a couple days to really kind of rethink things, kind of help with a performance like Ty had? Just talk about, obviously it's been a little while since you've been on.
Yeah, it's a good question, and I think it gets missed sometimes. It's been a unique year that some of that stuff's happened. I think some guys kind of need their attention grabbed. Like, we're paying attention to everything, and all we can go off of is what we see. And we've had some guys not have good falls, not have good lead ups to the season, and then you put them in the game and they look really good, or vice versa. So just that consistency element. But in Ty's case, he threw very good at Mississippi State in the 9th inning of Sunday's game. And we gave him or ran him out there because we need him to be good to kind of complete the pitching staff. And I could kind of see it coming. Coach Kelly's been excited about it. Like I said, it just didn't fit the Arkansas thing. That's the only reason he didn't pitch at all at Arkansas. And it put us in a good spot. And I thought he would do well against them last night. And he certainly did. And we really needed it.
Talk a lot about two-strike hitting and throughout this season. What goes into practicing that?
Well, it's attitude is the first thing. That's the bottom line. And, I mentioned having to grow as a team and become tougher. And I thought it was exhibited last night better than it has all season. Monday, like we said, I kind of put it in their face from a video standpoint of how much better we can be than we've been. And they responded in good fashion. And if they do that, we will create more run scoring opportunities for us. And a couple games that we've lost, that's really all that we've needed. We're much better in close games this year than the team was last year, and we need to continue that because that will ultimately define our season, how we are in those close games from this point forward. And if we improve in that element, I have great confidence that we can be better in those. And so I think that's a real positive thing. In terms of working on it, again, it starts with attitude. I think it's approach, competitiveness. We have very clear cut rules that we want to be in that count, and if they follow it, they'll do better. And we did better last night, which was good to see.
You said this video session. Are you looking at them individually in there?
No, it was a collective thing of maybe how many at bats have been left on the table in important situations where we were just a little more competitive. And it doesn't mean get a hit, but just make it a little harder on the pitcher. Did it last night. I mean, I brought that inning up that set up the big inning or set up Dylan coming up to get that big hit, and then Cade got hit with a pitch. But it was Joe Bear just putting the ball in play. Mm-hmm. It's college baseball, and we've certainly made our errors, but they made one last night that opened the door for that. And then Stevenson walking with 2 strikes left on left, and then Pearson getting hit with a pitch left on left, and then you get back to the guy you want up to bat. And so that was a great example of it. Jordan's home run was with 2 strikes. You could really see him physically adjust in that just to move the ball to put it in play. It's like I looked at him, and as soon as I saw where he was at with 2 strikes, like, well, we're going to get the run in. And credit to him and credit to the guys. I think it was a good step in the right direction and something we really need going forward.
Josh Pearson was leading off. We talked about that strategy last night. Is that something you see being a thing going forward? And what really, if you could maybe put in like layman's terms, what makes a good leadoff hitter?
Probably game to game if we're going to do it or not. I liked it. I felt good about it as I kind of scratched it out. Mm-hmm. There was no hesitation like this is what I want to do. In terms of a good leadoff hitter, I want somebody that can put fear in the pitcher right from the first pitch of the game. Like, they have to be on it. I mean, we led Chris Bryan off when he was a junior, just mainly so they wouldn't walk him at least once a game. And so I think Josh does that. He has the ball to hit, he has the ability to hit the ball over the fence, has the ball to hit the ball in the gap. So it puts pressure on the pitcher from the first pitch of the game. Obviously, knowledge of the strike zone, ability to separate balls from strikes. The entire objective of the leadoff hitter in every inning is to get on base. It sets up our whole deal. And in terms of opening up things we want to do, how they pitch to guys, pressure on the pitcher. So you need somebody that separates balls from strikes and can really cause anxiety in the pitcher. If you can establish pressure from the first pitch of the game, that will pay off in the middle innings.
We're past the halfway point of the season. Do you like the progress the team has made?
Some yes and some no. I think last night's game was one of the more like, this is how to do it. You know what I mean? I think we had one of those at Mississippi State. So I definitely see it in there. I mean, we're playing teams that are as good as us. Like, that's the thing about it. So it comes down to how you play. You certainly feel good when Mikhail's pitching. You certainly feel good with our bullpen. at the end of the game, and take care of the ball a little bit better, and do a better job offensively with 2 strikes. Compete a little harder, value winning. I still don't know that that's where it needs to be at least not for my level or my standard, and we'll keep working on that. I mean, guys that are in certain spots are there because their competitiveness as much as their ability, and that needs to be a 35-man deal, meaning the whole roster, and we've got to get to that point.
I think just one of the big trends with y'all's team the last couple of weeks has just been when y'all are, it's just the big innings. It's not necessarily consistently you guys are giving up 1-2 runs. It's the 4, 5, 6
Yeah.
spots. Just how
That's
do you go about,
eliminate free bases.
Yeah.
Got to handle the ball. Last Thursday's no secret. It's a well played game, other than we didn't handle the ball and 2 on back-to-back plays. Riley got Michael Turner on the ground ball, and then Devin got Webb on the ground ball, and they weren't errors, but we didn't make the play. I mean, I'd like to go into 6 out to go with Eric and Paul sitting there, and the 8th would have been against the bottom of their order. If you handle the ball, that's exactly where you're at in that situation. You don't even get back to the top if you make the play on the first one. So I think just staying the course with the improvement. We can beat anybody that we play in this league, and we can lose to anybody. So just the consistency, starting with attitude of valuing winning, attitude of being competitive in these things, and work, staying with it. We're better in the infield than we were 2 weeks ago. I know that people may think I'm nuts in saying that. We are better, and we're going to continue to work to get better.
Bryce
Pitching
Collins.
Sorry.
Bryce Collins is eating up some big-time innings for you guys. Looks just like he is a grinder. What have you seen from him so far?
Yeah, he's a good pitcher. He's got a good fastball that is tough to get on plane with. Has a great curveball. I think him and Mikhail are, the 2 best curveballs on the team. He can really make the ball go down, and that's hard for a hitter to deal with. Really tunnels the ball really well. What that means is it kind of all comes out of the same place, and then the ball moves. It's really tough for a hitter to deal with. Happy for him that he's contributing at such a high level. It's been two and a half years since he pitched in a college game, and it's been a good part of what we're doing, and hopefully can continue to do that as we go forward.
How has this group improved defensively?
We're working. All of my time, effort, and energy is going toward the infielders and with the infield defense. If you watched us train, you could see the intent behind the guys and their work, and I think it's translating, better. We still got to make plays, and we want to be better, and I think that it is, and I think if it's just a little bit better, that opens up some winning opportunities for us, and we got to keep going.
The pitching rotation has been pretty consistent
Mm-hmm.
the past couple of weeks, but you've talked about how y'all don't really have like that big time, say, first round like ace that some other teams maybe had, or how have you dealt with that in the past?
Well, we're staying competitive because of Mikhail and the trustworthiness of him, of coming out and competing and getting us, to the 6th or 7th inning with 1 or 2 runs on a board, and has allowed us to either win every game that he's pitched or be right in the game that he's pitched, and that's all that I need. Might not be a first round pick, but he's definitely an ace. So you can kind of separate those, and I don't care what's what as long as we're in the game. Because of how that player pitches. And the rest of it, it's like it's not traditional. It's not how you draw it up, but nobody cares. So you might as well just figure out a way to try to win, and that's what we're doing. Sam Dutton has been great for us. Really took a step forward, and the bullpen. You could go to any one of guys, and guys are doing a great job at picking each other up, and that's great to see. And they've been very unselfish in that regard. I think they've been kind of a highlight of the team, in my opinion, and have really bought into going out and being out-getters. And it's led to a lot of success for that group, and puts us in a good position.
Thank you, Coach.
Awesome.
Okay.